Now we're going to be going over a geometric series. Just like with arithmetic series, there is a rule for a geometric series, and that rule says that S sub n, your sum at some value of n, equals a sub 1, your first term, times the quantity 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r, where r is your ratio. So here we need to find the indicated sum for the geometric series. When it says the indicated sum, in this situation, we're going to be looking at that subscript that goes with s. So we're looking for s sub 7. That means in this situation, n is equal to 7. Then we've got this list of numbers. That very first number, that's your a sub 1. So here a sub 1 is 3. And here we need to figure out what r is before we can figure out the sum. So when we're figuring out r, that's our product. So what are we going to multiply by to get from 3 to negative 6? Well, that would be times negative 2. Let's just double check that for all of the other terms. From negative 6 to positive 12, that's also times negative 2. From 12 to negative 24, that is also times negative 2. So our value of r here is negative 2. Now to figure out s sub n, we can use our formula, where n is 7. So we have s sub 7 equals our first term, 3, times that ratio, 1 minus, and we need negative 2 to the power of n, which in this case is 7, over 1 minus negative 2. So from PEMDAS, I'm going to go ahead and simplify everything that's in that parentheses first. That still keeps the 3 on the outside. Then we have 1 minus, and then we need negative 2 to the power of 7, which is negative 128. So we have 1 minus negative 128 over 1 minus negative 2. This then simplifies to 1 plus 128 over 1 plus 2, which is 3 times 129 over 3. But since we have 3 times a fraction that's over 3, that's just going to leave us with 129. So our sum here for 7 of these terms gets us to 129. Let's look at another example. This time I gave you the example in summation form with that summation sign at the front. If it looks like this, your value of n is that top number. The very first number inside of that summation is your a sub 1. And then whatever's inside the parentheses here, that's going to be our value of r. So we need to figure out s sub 8. We know a sub 1 is 4. And this time we already know the r value. We don't need to find it. So we have 1 minus 1/2 to the power of n, which was 8, over 1 minus 1/2. And now simplifying the inside of those parentheses, 1 over 2 to the power of 8 is 1 over 256. So we have 1 minus 1 over 256 over, and 1 minus 1/2 is 1/2. Now remember, when we're dividing by 1/2, that's going to be the same thing as multiplying by 2. And 2 times 4 is 8, so now we have 8 on the outside. And then 1 minus 1 over 256 is 255 over 256. And let's see if this simplifies. So once we have that in your calculator, we end up with 255 over 32.